So welcome, thanks for being here. My name is Nicolas Seriot. I am an iPhone developer from Lausanne in Switzerland. And I got interested in malware on iPhones. So what was a fantasy a few years ago is now reality. A few years ago we imagined one day we'll have a virus in our pockets, but it was like fantasy, and today it's for real. So you hear many interrogations from people who are not techies, like my mother, my girlfriend. They all have iPhones, and they wonder, can my iPhone spy on me? It's a naive question, but a real problem. So I want to bring you some information from my iPhone developer point of view. So if you want to develop a virus, a malware, or something bad for the iPhone, you will meet a problem. You will have to reach consumers' pockets, right? So you will have to go through app stores. We have Android App Store. So, okay, this year was really, if you did not know it, Android years, because it was an explosion of Android devices in the market. And we have two models of online app stores. We have a kind of semi-free market, auto-regulated. We have a talk by Jesse Burns yesterday about Android applications iterative. But you can see many bad things, and there is a bad history, I think, about malware on the Android store. So I'm not going to talk about it today. I will focus on the App Store, and as you know, so I don't know maybe how many of you have iPhones here? Can you raise your hands? So at least half of you, okay. So what you may not, you know that Apple is everywhere today. What you may not know is that it's also in your badge. I don't know if you have tried to enter this code, APL, which is a stock symbol for Apple in your badge. You go to Easter eggs section and try it. So what about hacking now? Hackers have been traditionally hacking more on the jailbroken side of the iPhone. I'm sure you guys here know what is a jailbreak. It consists in running a custom modified firmware in your iPhone. So it's great for hackers, but most of people do not run jailbroken iPhones. They run legitimate stock iPhones, which is a huge, huge market. We have more than 100 million devices running iOS 4 or 3 or 4. And that's why I did a small research I presented this year back at DC. And my point was showing that you could run malware applications through the legitimate App Store on stock consumer iPhones, which was supposed to be impossible. The reference white paper for this talk is this PDF, which explains more formally what I'm going to say today. So here is the agenda. We'll see very quickly past privacy issues. And the main point of my talk will be to show you what malware can do on iPhone and can't do on an iPhone. We'll see some more or less possible attack scenarios and conclusion. So this is a good timeline. Of course, it's not exhaustive. It's just to give you an idea of the security issues we may meet on the iPhone. You can see on the last line there have been a lot of worms, but they are concerning only jailbroken, so modified iPhones. They were hijacking jailbroken iPhones because they were suffering of default SSH password, and they were like hijacking your phone. But people who do that expose themselves if they do not close the SSH port or change the default password. So I'm not talking about jailbroken side today. I focus on the unmodified devices. So of course we have root exploits. The latest one I know is based from 2 or 3 months ago. Simply by browsing PDF, you could exploit a vulnerability and run a random code set up by the attacker. And just by displaying PDF, you could get root access as iPhone. So there are these kind of problems as everywhere. We also have more privacy-related problems, like analytics frameworks. You can think about Google Analytics for your application. Basically, the developer uses a framework which will give him clues and information about the application usage. If the user runs the application twice a day, for how long, and so on. The problem here is that the user is not informed and cannot opt out. So this is a privacy issue in a way. We also have seen lawsuits regarding iPhone applications, which have later on been pulled out from the App Store. Some people downloaded quite a big number of times, like 20 million times. We're harvesting people cell numbers or contacts. A Swiss application has been pulled out from the App Store. It's now back because it fixed their privacy problems. It was Motherroad, and it sends the phone number of the user in clear, okay, through the network, and the salesman would call the user later, like, do you want to try the full version, paying version of Motherroad? So this is something users do not expect. So this was the situation before people tried to explain what an application can do from a programmatical point of view. We've all seen many reports about iPhone's supposed insecurity. This is a report from 15 days ago. Okay, a senior Australian crime official said that iPhone is particularly vulnerable to hacking and information theft. The problem is here that we do not have much details about that. In Switzerland also, we have seen reports about iPhone's supposed privacy problems. The civil servants are not able to use iPhones in Switzerland, the high-speed civil servants, because here again, we can read about supposed security, information theft problems, but once again, my point is to get facts about this, what is possible and what is not. So we are going to put ourselves in the skin, in the body of a malware writer, right? So we are going to imagine that we are writing a wrong application, maybe a breakout game, maybe, I don't know what, the application you want, flashlight, but it will secretly harvest personal data from users' iPhones. So the technical context is the latest iPhone OS version available, which is 4.1. We do not consider, once again, jailbroken devices. We imagine that we do not have hardware access to the devices. We are already going to prepare malware or a bad application and try to upload it to the App Store. Okay, not for real, okay? This is theoretical. We are not going to exploit Facebook or Twitter credentials and trying to steal, like, okay, post your iStore to Twitter. Although a real malware would probably try to do that. So let's look for entry points and let's look for personal data from the standpoint of the running application which was distributed through the App Store. So the first piece of data we can think of, okay, that's what I just said, we are going to write a malware application. Okay. The first piece of data, of personal data you can think about is the phone number. There is no public API to get the phone number, but it turns out, and it's no secret, it's very well documented on the internet, but for the end user, it's still a problem that any application can get its phone number with 2 lines. This is Objective-C code. And this is what you need to get the phone number. This is a problem. And it should just not be possible. Of course, you can change it in the settings. Your iPhone will still work as before. It's just like something like a registry key. It's a phone number you entered in iTunes the first time you connected your application, your iPhone to iTunes. Other pieces of information which an application can read on your iPhone are address book data. it turned out that any application has unlimited and restricted read and write access to your address book. Once again, this is not really a vulnerability. This is a documented behavior, but it doesn't change anything for the user if it is documented to developers or not. The fact is that it's not a business of Tetris to access your address book, right? So the access is in reading, but also in writing, and it raises further issues. Like, imagine you're working for, I don't know, okay, ubs.com, and an application could change any address ending by @ubs.com into pirate123@gmail.com. So when you will be writing to your contacts, you don't see the full email address, but just the name you get to it. And you could imagine scenarios where confidential data may leak this way. So we've got the phone number, we've got access to email, to address book contacts. Contacts include the email, but also the comments you put in your address book. I know that many people, not here of course, but in the wild put maybe banking information or, I don't know, door codes information in the address book, so this is a problem. Another way to get personal data is just to browse the file system. Here is, if you are an iPhone developer, you may be interested in a small open source project like it. It's like a file system browser for the iPhone, which you do not have, by the way, when you have an iPhone. You can browse the files, but programmatically you can. You could enumerate all readable files on your iPhone. So this is Objective-C code again. You just enumerate all